A few years ago, my friend George, who had just retired, said to me, "John, I feel like I'm stuck. I've got the time now, but I'm not happy, I'm not healthy, and I don't know what's missing." I listened to him and realized something important. Many of us, especially as we age, carry habits that quietly hold us back. Habits we don't even realize are draining our energy, our peace, and our joy. It's like trying to climb a mountain with a heavy backpack full of things you don't need. The Stoics had a word for this: ataraxia, or a state of calm and tranquility. They believed that by letting go of unnecessary burdens, whether they're physical, emotional, or mental, we can live a more fulfilling and peaceful life. That's why today I'm going to share 14 habits the Stoics would urge us to quit in 2025. These aren't just philosophical ideas. They're practical steps I've applied in my own life, and they've made all the difference. So grab a notebook, or better yet, save this video. Trust me, these insights are too valuable to forget. And if you enjoy wisdom like this, don't forget to subscribe. It's the best New Year's resolution you can make. Let's dive in. At 80, I'm sharing heartfelt wisdom and real-life stories to inspire you. Help us reach 1,000 new subscribers. Your support means everything. Hit subscribe and join this incredible journey today. As we grow older, life often gives us the chance to reflect on what truly matters. But sometimes we carry habits that no longer serve us, habits that quietly steal our peace, our health, and even our happiness. The Stoics believed that letting go of what weighs us down is the first step toward living a stronger, more meaningful life. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." In other words, we can find freedom by changing how we approach life's challenges. I've seen this in my own life and in the lives of friends like George. Over the years, I've let go of habits that once held me back, and what I've gained is priceless: clarity, energy, and a renewed sense of purpose. Today, I'll share 14 habits the Stoics would urge us to quit in 2025. These aren't abstract ideas. They're practical, life-changing steps you can start today. Let's begin with the first one, a habit that quietly drains your happiness more than you might realize. Years ago, I used to complain constantly about my arthritis. Every morning, I'd grumble about the pain and how it limited me. One day, a friend asked, "John, has complaining ever made the pain go away?" I laughed at how obvious the answer was. Of course not. The Stoics teach us that we should focus on what we can control and let go of the rest. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Complaining only wastes energy we could use to improve our situation. I started focusing on small, positive changes I could make. I began stretching gently in the mornings and paying attention to my diet. It didn't make the arthritis disappear, but it made my life much more manageable. If you're in a similar situation, ask yourself, what small thing can I do today to feel better? That mindset changes everything. I remember a period after my wife passed away when I'd replay every argument, every missed moment in my mind. It was a loop I couldn't escape. A wise neighbor, Walter, once told me, "John, the past is like a locked door. You can knock all you want, but it won't open." The Stoics remind us to focus on the present. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which arm you against the present." I began creating new memories instead. planting flowers in the garden, hosting simple dinners with friends. It helped me step away from the past and focus on the life I still had. If you're caught up in old regrets, redirect that energy into something small you can enjoy today, like a walk or calling an old friend. In my 60s, I used to think, I've made it this far. Why bother worrying about my health now? Then I had a health scare, and my doctor told me, John, if you don't take care of your body, it won't take care of you. Seneca said, the body should be treated more rigorously, that it may not be disobedient to the mind. So I made small changes, walking each morning, eating a few more vegetables, and drinking more water. These tiny steps added up, and soon I felt stronger and more energized. You don't have to overhaul your entire lifestyle to make a difference. Just pick one thing, maybe a 10-minute walk or swapping out soda for water, and start there. When I retired, I thought buying things would make me happy. A new car, fancy gadgets, expensive clothes. But the more I bought, the emptier I felt. Epictetus wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. One day, I decided to declutter my home. I gave away clothes I never wore and sold off items I didn't need. It was liberating, and it felt like clearing my mind as well as my home. Take a look around your home. Maybe start with one drawer or shelf and ask yourself, do I really need this? Letting go of what doesn't serve you can make room for peace. I'll never forget an old friend I hadn't spoken to in years because of an argument we had. One day, I ran into him at a community event and we started talking. I realized how much I'd missed him and how silly the grudge had been. The Stoics believed that anger and resentment harm us more than the people they're directed at. Epictetus said, to be angry at something which is not under your control is foolish. That day, I decided to let go of the resentment. It wasn't easy, but it freed me from a burden I didn't even realize I was carrying. If you're holding on to anger, think about what it's costing you. Maybe it's time to reach out or simply let the grudge go quietly in your heart. There was a time when I'd agonize over every little decision, what to eat, what to wear, even which route to take on a walk. It sounds silly, but it was exhausting. Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. The Stoics believed in acting with clarity and confidence. I began limiting myself to 3 options for big decisions and trusting my gut for smaller ones. If you find yourself overthinking, try setting a time limit for your decision. Even 5 minutes can help you make a choice and move forward. I used to start my mornings by watching the news, and let me tell you, it set a negative tone for my entire day. I realized that what I consumed influenced how I felt. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. So, I replaced the news with a morning walk and reading a few pages of an uplifting book. My mindset improved almost immediately. If the news or social media is draining you, consider limiting your exposure. Start your day with something that lifts you up instead of dragging you down. For years, I believed showing emotions made me weak. I'd keep everything bottled up, even when my heart was breaking. But the Stoics teach us that feeling is part of being human. Seneca said, we must endure, but also allow ourselves to feel. Sharing my emotions with my family brought us closer, and it helped me heal in ways I didn't expect. If you're holding things in, try opening up to someone you trust. Even saying, I need to share something that's on my mind, can make a big difference. After retiring, I thought I'd enjoy the peace and quiet. But over time, the silence became loneliness. I didn't realize how much I needed connection until a neighbor invited me to a community event. That one lunch changed everything. I met people, shared laughs, and felt a renewed sense of purpose. Aristotle, who influenced Stoic thought, said, "Man is by nature a social animal." Even the Stoics acknowledged the importance of relationships for a meaningful life. If you've been isolating yourself, try reaching out to someone, a friend, family member, or even a local community group. Sometimes all it takes is saying yes to an invitation. I used to tell myself, "I'll start exercising tomorrow," or "I'll clean out the garage next week." Days turned into weeks, and weeks into years. Then one day, my son asked, "Dad, when are you actually going to do it?" That was the push I needed. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The Stoics emphasized action over delay because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. If you've been putting something off, take the first step today. It doesn't have to be big. Sometimes, just starting is the hardest part. When I retired, I didn't know what to do with myself. My routines were gone, my work life was over, and I felt adrift. But over time, I realized that clinging to the past only made things harder. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change." Instead of resisting, I started embracing change. I created new routines, picked up gardening, and even started mentoring younger people. It gave me a sense of purpose I didn't know I was missing. If change feels overwhelming, start small. Focus on one positive thing this new phase of life could bring and lean into it. When I turned 70, I realized I'd stopped doing the things I loved. Painting used to bring me so much joy, but I hadn't picked up a brush in decades. One day, I decided to give it a try again, and it felt like coming home. Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Ignoring our passions disconnects us from who we are. Reconnecting with them, even for just an hour a week, can reignite a spark within us. If there's something you used to love, music, painting, gardening, consider making time for it again. You might surprise yourself with how much joy it brings. A friend once told me he felt like he was just waiting for the days to pass. That phrase broke my heart, because life is meant to be lived with intention, not endured. The Stoics believed that purpose gives meaning to our days. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life." For me, mentoring young people became my purpose. It reminded me that my experiences still had value, and sharing them brought me fulfillment. Think about what gives you a sense of purpose. Maybe it's helping others, reconnecting with nature, or simply being there for your loved ones. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be yours. In my younger years, I thought rest was laziness. I'd push through fatigue, thinking it made me more productive. But as I got older, I realized that rest is essential. It's what allows us to show up fully for the people and things we care about. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you seek tranquility, do less. Do what's essential. Do less, better." Rest isn't about doing nothing. It's about recharging your mind and body so you can live more fully. If you've been neglecting rest, consider going to bed a little earlier tonight or taking 10 minutes tomorrow to sit quietly without distractions. You'll feel the difference. I almost missed my grandson's wedding because I was nervous about traveling alone. I kept thinking, what if something goes wrong? But then I remembered Epictetus's words. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. I pushed past my fear, made the trip, and had one of the most joyful experiences of my life. Fear is natural, but it shouldn't control us. The Stoics teach us to acknowledge fear, but act with courage anyway. If fear is holding you back, take one small step toward facing it. The courage you gain from that single step will carry you forward. Loneliness, fear, procrastination, these habits can hold us back, but the Stoics remind us that it's never too late to let go of what doesn't serve us. By quitting these 15 habits, you can unlock a life filled with peace, purpose, and strength, no matter your age. Remember, every small step matters. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Make 2025 the year you let go of these burdens and step into a better, stronger you. If these habits and lessons resonated with you, help me reach my next milestone of adding 1,000 more subscribers. Your support keeps me motivated to share more Stoic wisdom and life lessons that truly matter. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. Also, share your thoughts in the comments. What's one habit you'll quit starting today? I'd love to hear from you. Together, let's make 2025 a year of growth, purpose, and transformation. Thank you for being part of this journey